the girl bit down hard on her backpack, tearing it open. She pulled out a piece of wire and, with both hands, straightened it as best as she could. Then, without hesitation, Lisa bent one end, creating a makeshift hook. Eagerly, Lisa extended her right hand and hooked it onto the climbing rope hanging from the cliff. After securing it, she carefully pulled the wire tight, finally managing to grab the rope in her hand. With the rope now in her grip, Lisa mustered all her strength to leap, just barely reaching the solid rock on her right. Her heart, which had been pounding, finally settled. However, Lisa dared not rest. She was being hunted by 3 criminals, and the higher she climbed, the greater her chances of survival. With all her remaining strength, Lisa scrambled up to a small ledge. Nearby, an abandoned sleeping bag lay. Just as Lisa was about to push herself to the top, voices from above froze her in place. The criminals had found a shortcut and made it to the summit ahead of her. Helpless, Lisa crouched down to rest for a moment. After bandaging her hand, she pulled a secure clip from her bag and wedged it into a crack in the rock. With a grunt, she hooked the sleeping bag onto it. Without a second thought for safety, she dove inside. The intense climbing during the day had already drained her. Lisa dug out the last of her beef jerky from her bag to regain some strength. Then, leaning against the pack, she drifted into a deep, exhausted sleep. The criminals on the mountain had planned to wait for Lisa to show herself, but by nightfall, she still hadn't appeared. Growing impatient, they decided to take action. They secured the rope and attached a 200-pound sandbag to it. Then, working together, they threw the sandbag over the edge. With a loud thud, the sandbag hit, shaking the ledge and waking Lisa. Still disoriented, she barely had time to react before the sandbag came crashing down again. Luckily, in her panic, Lisa managed to grab hold of the sandbag, preventing herself from falling over the cliff. But when the criminals tried to pull the rope, they realized the sandbag wouldn't budge. Mike, hearing the commotion, bent down to look. Seeing the situation, he ordered his partner to release the rope and then grabbed a knife to cut it. Lisa, watching the sandbag fall, took a sharp breath. Quickly, she steadied herself, adjusting her breathing before summoning every ounce of strength to climb up. She huddled beneath the sleeping bag, too frightened to make a sound. Mike peered down but saw no sign of Lisa. He assumed she had fallen along with the sleeping bag. After waiting in silence for a while, he still didn't hear anything, and Lisa finally crawled back into the sleeping bag. She thought she'd finally get some rest, but to her horror, the relentless criminals had followed her down.